If you opened this video, maybe it was just a moment of curiosity, a single click, a small impulse. But somewhere deep inside, there are things in life that are not coincidences. In the depths of every human soul, invisible movements happen. Currents that logic can't explain. Sometimes we feel drawn to something, a picture, a word, a question, and we can't say why. That mysterious attraction, that's where every true inner journey begins. Not with clear answers, but with a soft whisper only the heart can hear. Carl Gustav Jung once said, "The symbol is the best possible expression of something unknown." What touches you through symbols, myths, or archetypes is not fantasy. It's a message from your inner world. Your psyche speaks in images, and today, it invites you to listen. Before we go on, take a breath. If you feel these words resonate with something real inside you, give this video a like. Not for the algorithm, but as a personal commitment to yourself. A sign that you're ready to go deeper than usual. Now imagine you're standing in an ancient, enchanted place. The air hums with silence. Mist drifts over the stones, and from that mist, 4 mythical beings appear. They bear no fairy tale names. They are older than stories, older than language. They are the living echoes of your own soul. The dragon, the phoenix, the unicorn, and the griffin. 4 timeless guardians. 4 archetypal energies that rise whenever the human spirit is ready to remember itself. They don't come to tell you what to do. They come to show you who you truly are. So, what is an archetype? Jung called it a universal inner image, a pattern that lives in every one of us, no matter our age, culture, or background. Archetypes are not characters in myths. They are forces of the soul. They appear in dreams, in stories, in sudden emotions, and in the moments when truth breaks through our everyday noise. Each of us carries certain archetypal energies more strongly than others, not because we choose them, but because our life journey calls them forth. Maybe you're standing at an inner crossroads right now. Something old is ending, but the new hasn't yet begun. Maybe you're asking questions you've never dared to ask. Who am I really? What remains when everything external fades away? What does my soul still long to experience before my time here ends? In those moments, logic is silent, and the unconscious begins to speak, not through words, but through images, sensations, symbols, and that's exactly what's happening here, as these 4 beings appear before you. The dragon, power, wisdom, transformation, the guardian of inner truth. The phoenix, fire, death, and rebirth. The courage to begin again. The unicorn, purity, faith, the belief in the impossible. The griffin, strength and vision in perfect balance. Perhaps you wonder, what does any of this have to do with me? The answer, everything. Because whatever moves you belongs to you. If you feel drawn to one of these beings, it's not random. It's your soul saying, "Here I am, look at me." There are no right or wrong choices, only recognition. Maybe you feel the dragon calling you to finally step out of the shadows, or the phoenix, reminding you that endings are secret beginnings. Perhaps the unicorn stirs your faith that magic still exists, or the griffin asks you to be strong, but never hard. This moment is not a game. It's an invitation to honesty with yourself. Who are you when nobody's watching? What inside you longs to be lived? Right now? Take a deep breath. Let the images sink in. And when you're ready, write in the comments. Which guardian has called you? Because when we share our inner symbols, We don't just heal ourselves. We remind others that they are not alone. If this video touched you, subscribe and stay connected. Not for us, but for your own growth, for your own remembrance. You didn't find this video by chance. You're here because something within you is ready to awaken. Welcome to your journey. He doesn't appear with thunder or lightning. The dragon comes quietly, emerging from the fog, his gaze steady, his presence commanding. He doesn't need to roar to be felt. His silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. In the language of the soul, the dragon is not a monster. He is the guardian of thresholds, the one who stands between light and shadow, between what you know and what you haven't dared to discover. He holds the wisdom of transformation, the alchemy of turning pain into power and fear into awareness. If this guardian has called to you, it means there's an ancient strength inside you, long asleep, waiting to awaken. The dragon within you knows. True power is not domination. It's presence. It's the quiet certainty that you can face whatever comes and still remain yourself. Maybe right now you're standing before a new chapter. You sense that something old must end, a phase, a habit, maybe even an identity. You hesitate not out of fear, but because you feel the weight of what's coming. You know this decision will change you. People who carry dragon energy often walk through life with depth that others can sense but rarely understand. They don't talk much about themselves, yet when they do, people listen. Their wisdom doesn't come from theory. It comes from scars, from failures, from the long nights where they had to rebuild themselves piece by piece. The dragon doesn't rush. He observes, he learns, and when the time is right, he acts with clarity and precision. Maybe you've been the strong one for others for too long, the one everyone turns to when things fall apart. You've carried others' weight, protected, guided, and endured. Not because you had to, but because something in you believed it was your role. But even dragons grow tired of always being strong. Their greatest challenge is not in fighting battles, it's in laying down the sword. That's the shadow side of the dragon. The desire to control, the fear of letting go, the need to handle everything alone. Perhaps your trust has been broken before. Perhaps when you opened up, you were hurt. So you built walls, slowly, quietly, to protect your heart. Brick by brick. Until one day, you realized you'd built not a fortress, but a prison. The dragon within you whispers, true power is not control, it's trust. You don't have to guard the fire all by yourself. Sometimes sharing your flame doesn't burn, it warms. Ask yourself, where am I still holding on out of fear? What do I protect that no longer needs guarding? Where could I share my wisdom instead of hiding it? Because knowledge doesn't diminish when shared. It multiplies. And the world needs your kind of strength now. Quiet, steady, wise. You are not here to conquer. You are here to illuminate. The dragon in you is an alchemist, a transformer of lifetimes. He burns away illusions, not to destroy, but to clear the path for truth. You've likely had to let go of relationships, jobs, dreams, or beliefs that no longer fit the person you're becoming. And yes, there was pain in that. But notice what followed. Space, air, light. The dragon doesn't destroy to harm. He destroys to renew. And maybe that's where you are now, at the edge of renewal. You're the steady rock others lean on, but even rocks need rest. Your lesson is to remember that strength and softness can coexist. Your gift to the world isn't just your endurance, it's your clarity, your grounded wisdom, your courage to evolve without spectacle. You're the quiet teacher, the unseen guardian, the calm in the storm. It's time. Step out of hiding, not to seek applause, but because your light is needed, because there are people who are lost in noise, and your silence holds the way. You are the dragon, the one who guards transformation, the one who burns illusions, the one who protects truth. And as the world shouts and trembles, you move with quiet certainty, firm, grounded, alive. If this part resonates with you, take a breath. Let it settle. Ask yourself, am I ready to stop guarding the fire and start sharing it? Because when you do, the dragon's work becomes complete. Sometimes, endings don't announce themselves with noise or drama. They arrive quietly, like a slow collapse from within. Something that once felt alive becomes hollow. A person leaves, a dream dissolves, a purpose fades, and there you are, standing in the ashes of what used to be your life. If the phoenix has called to you, it's because you know that place. You've burned before. You've fallen apart and wondered if you'd ever rise again. But the truth is, you already have. You're here, breathing, listening, understanding words that only someone who's known loss can truly feel. The phoenix is not a symbol of destruction. It's a symbol of holy fire. A flame that does not punish. It purifies. It burns away everything false, everything outdated, everything small. And when it's done, what remains is what's real. Perhaps you've faced grief, the loss of a relationship, a home, a dream, a version of yourself. Perhaps you've stayed awake through nights that felt endless, your mind whispering, "This is it, I can't rebuild again." But you did, maybe quietly, maybe trembling, but you rose, not as who you were, but as someone transformed. That's the phoenix's secret. It doesn't rise despite the ashes. It rises because of them. In every true rebirth, there's a moment when everything you knew burns. Your past, your patterns, your illusions of control. And in that silence, a new heartbeat begins, fragile but alive. You carry that heartbeat within you now. It's the pulse that says, "Even this pain will become part of my light." The phoenix energy lives in those who've stopped seeing crisis as punishment and started seeing it as initiation. Every heartbreak, every ending, every loss, each one invited you to know yourself beyond your roles and titles, to find meaning not in perfection, but in resilience. Maybe you've changed. You're softer now, or sharper, or both. You've learned that compassion doesn't mean weakness, and boundaries don't mean coldness. You've discovered that healing isn't erasing scars, it's owning them. And that's why people feel something in your presence, even when you say nothing. Because you radiate survival. The phoenix people, they rarely talk about their strength. They simply live it. They remind others that you can walk through fire and not lose your essence. That you can love again after betrayal. That you can believe again after despair. But even the phoenix has shadows. Those who have burned too many times can start fearing their own fire. You might stay too long in the ashes, afraid to rise again, afraid the next blaze will break you for good. Or you may cling to pain as identity, because it's familiar, because it's proof that you've lived deeply. The phoenix whispers, your fire doesn't exist to destroy you. It exists to reveal you. So let the past go, not by forgetting, but by forgiving. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know, for the love you gave, for the battles you couldn't win. You're not meant to live in yesterday's ruins. You're meant to build from them. Your ashes are fertile. They hold the seeds of your next chapter. When you finally rise, and you will, it won't be as the old you rebuilt. It will be as the true you reborn. Someone whose light doesn't blind, it warms. Someone who no longer chases, but attracts. Someone who walks not to prove anything, but simply to be. So if you're standing in the fire now, remember this. You are not burning down, you are burning through. And what's on the other side of this fire is clarity, freedom, peace. The phoenix inside you has already begun to lift its wings. Let it, trust it, follow it. Because your story doesn't end in the ashes, it begins there. In a world that often rewards noise, speed, and hardness, there still exists a rare kind of strength, the quiet strength of the unicorn. Gentle, silent, but unbreakable. If you feel drawn to this being, it doesn't mean you are weak. It means your soul remembers something the world has forgotten. The sacred power of tenderness, of beauty, of hope. The unicorn is not a creature of fairy tales. It's a mirror of a heart that still believes, even after everything. You might be someone who feels deeply, who notices subtle shifts in the air, who senses moods before a single word is spoken. You might feel emotions like waves, strong and real, while others seem untouched. You've probably been called too sensitive, too idealistic, too soft for this world. But what they don't understand is that your sensitivity is not fragility. It's wisdom in its purest form. Your empathy allows you to feel what others can't. Your gentleness disarms pain where force never could. You don't just see the world as it is, you see what it could be. And that vision, that ability to still dream despite disappointment, is your quiet rebellion. The unicorn symbolizes purity, not moral perfection, but emotional truth. It lives in those who refuse to let cynicism harden them, who still find beauty in an ordinary sunrise, who still feel awe at the sound of rain on warm soil. People with unicorn energy carry a kind of light that doesn't shout. It glows. They walk into a room and the atmosphere softens. Their words may be few, but they land deep. They remind others, simply by being, that kindness is not weakness, that love is not naivete, that faith is not foolishness. Perhaps you felt misunderstood your whole life. Maybe you've hidden your softness behind a calm mask, afraid the world would crush it. Maybe you've tried to be tougher, colder, more realistic. But the truth is, your softness is your strength. It's your compass. It's your superpower. You see, the unicorn doesn't survive by fighting. It survives by remaining true to its nature, even in a hostile world. It keeps its purity not because it's blind to darkness, but because it refuses to become it. And yes, there's a shadow to this gift. When you love deeply, you can be wounded deeply. When you see the best in people, you risk disappointment. And sometimes, after too much hurt, you might start dimming your own light, convincing yourself that caring too much is a flaw. But the unicorn within you wants you to know, your light is not meant to please everyone. It's meant to guide the ones who still remember how to feel. Don't shrink your heart to fit the world's smallness. Expand it, because your compassion is medicine. Your path may not be easy. You might walk alone sometimes. But loneliness, for you, is not a punishment. It's a sacred space where your intuition grows, where your soul speaks. There are others like you, souls who still believe in quiet magic, who still see through eyes of wonder. And the more you live your truth, the more they will find you. The unicorn calls you to protect your inner innocence, not by hiding it, but by honoring it. Let your words be gentle, but your boundaries strong. Let your dreams be vast, but your feet grounded. Let your love be honest, even when it's vulnerable. Because the world needs your kind of purity now more than ever. It needs hearts that still remember how to heal through empathy, how to listen with care, how to see light in the unseen. You are not naive for believing in goodness. You are courageous for doing so in a world that often forgets it exists. You are the bridge between the visible and the invisible, the living reminder that beauty is not weakness, that tenderness is power, that hope is resistance. If the unicorn has chosen you, then your mission is clear: to stay open when the world closes, to keep faith when others give up, to love without calculation, to trust that every act of kindness ripples beyond what you can see. You are the keeper of silent magic, the healer who doesn't need to fix, only to understand. And that is real power. He stands tall at the threshold between worlds, half lion, half eagle, a creature of sky and earth, of instinct and vision. The Griffin is not torn between opposites. He embodies them. If you feel drawn to this guardian, it means that somewhere within you lives a longing, a deep, quiet desire to unite the contradictions inside you, to stop fighting yourself, to live as a whole, not as fragments. The Griffin represents inner harmony, the sacred balance between courage and gentleness, strength and empathy, freedom and responsibility. He reminds us that we don't need to choose between power and peace. We can be both. The lion in him is grounded, fierce, loyal, protective. It knows the importance of stability, of duty, of keeping your word. It acts with heart and integrity. The eagle in him soars high, visionary, wise, detached. It sees patterns that others miss. It teaches perspective, patience, and higher truth. When these two forces coexist, life flows. But when they fight, when one dominates, we lose our center. Perhaps you've felt this conflict within yourself. The urge to be strong, but also kind. To lead, but not control. To care for others, but not lose yourself in the process. To be free, yet still belong. You might be someone who carries great responsibility. A parent, a leader, a friend others rely on. People trust your clarity. You bring calm when things fall apart. Not because you never fear, but because you've learned to hold your fear without letting it rule you. But the Griffin also carries a heavy burden. He tries to keep everything in balance, and sometimes that balance becomes a cage. You might feel exhausted trying to hold the world together, trying to meet everyone's needs, forgetting your own, trying to be strong for others while hiding your fatigue. That is the Griffin's shadow, the illusion of perfection, the belief that you must always be composed, wise, capable, that you can't afford to break. But the Griffin's truth is this: your strength is not in control. It's in your capacity for stillness. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes leadership means stepping back. Sometimes wisdom means listening instead of deciding. The Griffin invites you to stop splitting yourself into shoulds and musts, into either or. You are both. You are all. You are the one who can stand in the middle of contradictions and still feel at peace. When the Griffin energy awakens, you start living differently. You make choices from balance, not from pressure. You learn that saying no can be an act of love, that resting can be a form of service, that silence can speak louder than words. You begin to embody dignity, not as performance, but as presence. You walk with calm authority, not because you're superior, but because you've made peace with your inner storm. People who carry this archetype often create harmony wherever they go. They bridge gaps between people, ideas, and worlds. They are mediators of energy, connecting what was once divided. And yet, they too must remember. The first harmony must exist within. The Griffin teaches that real power is not in choosing sides, but in holding both wings open. He reminds you that you can fly high without losing ground, and stay grounded without clipping your wings. So ask yourself, where in your life are you out of balance? Where do you give too much, or control too tightly, or carry what isn't yours? Where do you silence your own needs to keep the peace? Take a breath. Imagine the Griffin within you, his paws steady on the earth, his wings spread wide toward the sky. That's you at your most complete. That's you at your most powerful. Your soul doesn't want perfection, it wants integration, not one side of you, but all of you. The Griffin is the guardian of this sacred middle point. He reminds you that being whole doesn't mean being flawless. It means being true, fierce and gentle, firm and loving, grounded and free. And when you reach that place, something extraordinary happens. You stop chasing balance, and balance begins to follow you. Now that you've walked through the realm of these four guardians, the dragon, the phoenix, the unicorn, and the griffin, take a deep breath. Let the images linger. This wasn't just a story or a test. It was a mirror. Each of these beings is not outside of you. They are you. Fragments of your psyche, pieces of your timeless self. Each one represents a force that has shaped you, guided you, or perhaps is still waiting to awaken within you. Carl Jung taught that archetypes are not inventions of the mind. They are ancient blueprints of the soul, energies that live within every human being, beyond culture, beyond time. And when you feel drawn to one image, one symbol, one creature, it isn't random. It's your unconscious sending a message to the surface. This is who you are becoming. So think back. Which guardian called to you most strongly? If it was the dragon, your soul is calling for clarity and strength. You may be at a turning point, ready to stop hiding, ready to speak truth without fear. You're learning that power isn't control, it's presence. Your path now is to use your wisdom not to dominate, but to illuminate. To transform quietly, deeply, and with integrity. If it was the phoenix, your spirit is rising from something that once broke you. You are being reborn through the fire of loss, pain, or change. Yes, the ashes are real, but they are not the end. They are proof of your courage. Your task is to trust that everything that burned away was clearing space for something new. You're not ending, you're evolving. If it was the unicorn, you are the keeper of tenderness in a hardened world. Your soul is here to remind others, and yourself, that purity, empathy, and wonder are not weaknesses. They are rare gifts. You are meant to live with open eyes and an open heart. Your power lies in kindness, and your challenge is to protect it without closing it. And if it was the griffin, you are being called toward balance and inner unity. You've lived between extremes, duty and freedom, strength and compassion, and now it's time to merge them. You're here to embody calm leadership, silent strength, and grounded vision, to guide not by control, but by example, to remind others that harmony begins within. No choice was right or wrong. Each one was true. Because your soul always chooses the image it needs most. What you felt drawn to today is not permanent. It's a snapshot of your current state of evolution. One day, you may feel the fire of the phoenix again. Another day, the wisdom of the dragon. We move through all of them over and over as life shapes us and softens us. But the deeper lesson is this: you don't have to become anyone else. You are already the whole. Every guardian you met, they all live within you. Different voices, same essence. The dragon gives you courage to stand tall. The phoenix gives you faith to rise again. The unicorn gives you purity to love fearlessly. The griffin gives you balance to live truthfully. Together they form the 4 pillars of a complete soul. And today, your soul chose to remind you of that. This is not the end of the journey. It's a beginning, a deeper remembering. A call to live in alignment with the energy that spoke to you today. Take a few quiet moments. Breathe. Let your chosen guardian's image rest in your heart. What does it want to teach you? What truth does it whisper when you stop listening to fear? Write it down. Reflect on it. Carry it into your next dawn. And if you feel ready, share your choice in the comments. Not just for interaction, but as an act of connection. Because when we share our inner symbols, we remind others that they too have wings, fire, and light inside them. Remember, you didn't stumble here by accident. Something in you, older than your mind, brought you, because it's time to remember what you've always known. You are the guardian. You are the flame. You are the balance. You are the light. Welcome home, traveler of the soul. Your archetype has awakened.